6:45. You're with the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Geetanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. President affirms trust in new investments for rebuilding Sri Lanka's economy. Sri Lanka is about to ink a free trade agreement with Thailand in February. Sri Lanka to introduce one-day service for permanent driver's licenses, resolve issues by October. Galle Concert 2024 to draw over 500,000 guests to South. In foreign news, China records population decline for second straight year. In sports, the third and final T20 match between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe will be played this evening. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe outlined short-term strategies aimed at revitalizing Sri Lanka's economy, emphasizing tourism promotion, agriculture modernization and a focus on renewable energy. The President expressed the country's eagerness to attract new investments. He was speaking in a candid discussion at the World Economic Forum stakeholder dialogue titled Pulling Back from the Brink, held in Kapuk village, Aspen. During the panel discussion, a question was posed regarding Sri Lanka's outlook after negotiating debt release and the approach for repaying borrowed funds. President Wickremesinghe responded optimistically, highlighting the country's performance and anticipating a 2% growth this year, with projections reaching 4 to 5% in the next year. However, the President acknowledged the critical issues balancing payments and budgetary constraints. He outlined measures to address these challenges, including working with the International Monetary Fund to increase revenue, revamping revenue collection systems, and establishing a revenue authority to replace individual departments. The discussion delved into the complexities of managing populism and meeting public expectations while adhering to conventional financial rules. President Wickremesinghe stressed the need for a government to strike a balance between providing essential facilities and managing strict financial rules. Addressing concerns about potential resentment from the population due to tax increases and IMF, the President reassured that Sri Lanka is accustomed to foreign investments and maintain an open society. He expressed support for debt relief for African countries, acknowledging the unique challenges they face. President Ranil Wickremesinghe took centre stage in recent roundtable discussions organised by the Consortium of Indian Industry and World Economic Forum recently, unveiling a comprehensive economic vision for Sri Lanka. The President emphasised the successful resolution of supply bottlenecks, the removal of import restrictions, and the restoration of foreign exchange liquidity as key factors contributing to sustained economic growth. Sri Lanka is actively expanding its trade agreements with a recently completed comprehensive free trade agreement with Singapore and an upcoming FTA with Thailand in February. Ongoing discussions in India, China and Southeast Asian nations highlight the nation's commitment to global economic integration. President Wickremesinghe welcomed private investments, particularly in infrastructure development and the divestment of state-owned enterprises. Lucrative opportunities for potential investors were highlighted in key sectors such as telecommunications, financial services and energy. The collaborative efforts with India on renewable energy projects focusing on offshore wind and solar sources underscore the commitment to sustainable energy solutions. Plans for a high-capacity power grid and bi-directional electricity trade further showcase the dedication to energy and power connectivity. State Minister for Transport Lasantha Alagivanna assured that the ongoing issues in the issuance of driver's licenses will be addressed by October, with a shift towards providing permanent licenses through a one-day service rather than temporary ones. Speaking at a news conference held at the Presidential Media Centre under the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country yesterday, the State Minister outlined plans to elevate all district officers responsible for issuing driving licenses to the status of the Werahera head office by the end of this year. Mr. Alagivanna, elaborating on the transportation initiatives under President Ranil Wickremesinghe's guidance, emphasized the ministry's commitment to delivering efficient public programs, transport services through modern technology. He highlighted ongoing programs and the ministry's efforts to amend the existing Motor Vehicle Act, introducing a new act. In the interest of road safety, steps are being taken to streamline the speed limit process to reduce accidents. While alcohol detection is currently operational for drivers, a new initiative targets legal action against drivers under the influence of drugs implemented nationwide since this year, with an initial phase in the western and southern provinces. Further developments include facilitating driver's licenses for foreigners at airports by April and resolving the current challenges in license issuance by October. The commitment extends to replacing temporary licenses with permanent ones through expedited one-day services. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. President Wickremesinghe urged collaboration from development partners, the private sector and the international finance community to support the V20-led climate prosperity plans. He stressed the significance of these joint efforts to delivering a just, sustainable and prosperous future, considering resource constraints and the impact of climate change on fiscal space. The President made these comments addressing a roundtable organized by the Climate Vulnerable Forum in Davos, Switzerland on Tuesday. President Wickremesinghe noted that he is dedicated to progress investments in climate prosperity plans, including the development of investor sheets for finance mobilization. Recognizing the need for investments in training, skills and digital technologies, he highlighted the critical role they play in job expansion and maximizing the benefits of a sustainable and climate-secure transition. Chairman of the Tourism Promotion Bureau of Galle, Shalaka Gajapahu, says that Galle Concert 2024 is set to host the Galle Literary Festival and series of other events that will be held from the 12th of January to the end of March 2024, anticipating a turnout of approximately 500,000 to 1 million local and foreign visitors in Galle. He added that the dedicated efforts of numerous unsung heroes working tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure a success of the Coastal Festival. He expressed hopes of reaching a target of 2.5 million visitors to Sri Lanka by the conclusion of 2024. The President's Secretary, in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau and the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, along with sponsors, announced the launch of Galle Concert 2024, the Southern Festival, and its accompanying handbook. The festivities taking place in Galle are to unfold against the picturesque backdrop of Southern Province, rich heritage, architecture and vibrant coastal charm, the organizers said. The cultural event will present a diverse array of writers, poets, intellectuals, literary enthusiasts, musicians, artists and celebrated chefs from around the world, promising a celebration of creativity and cultural exchange. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Sri Lankan Airlines has acquired and added another brand new A330-243 Airbus type aircraft to its fleet on a lease basis and brought it to Katunayake Airport. The new aircraft, manufactured in France, arrived at Katunayake Airport on January 16, and accordingly the number of aircraft owned by Sri Lankan Airlines has increased to 23. Worldwide body aircraft has 22 business class seats and 240 economic class seats and is powered by 2 engines.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
In Watchlight, the Consulate General of Sri Lanka in Toronto organized its first mobile consular service of the year 2024 in Scarborough recently. More than 250,000 Sri Lankan Canadians are living in Scarborough, and Post made this arrangement for the convenience of the public in line with the government's policy. Conducting mobile consular services in weekends facilitates the Sri Lankan Canadian community a broad access to various consular services. More than 1,000 people attended the consular mobile service this time, and that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
In the headlines, Houthis hit US-owned ship in Yemen after terror designation. China records population decline for second straight year. And Kate in hospital after surgery to King to get prostate treatment. Yemen's Houthis have targeted a US-owned vessel in the Red Sea after Washington said it will redesignate the group as global terrorists. The group said they hit the Genco Picardy bulk carrier with missiles which resulted in a direct hit. The US military says the vessel was hit by a drone last evening. Washington's new designation of Houthis will require US financial institutions to freeze Houthis' funds and its members will be banned from the US. The Houthi Red Sea attacks are a response to Israel's military operation in Gaza. Earlier this month, the UK and the US launched airstrikes on dozens of Houthis' targets in Yemen in an attempt to stop the group from targeting vessels in the Red Sea. China's population has declined for a second consecutive year, underscoring concerns about the future growth of the world's second-largest economy. Data released yesterday showed a population of 1.409 billion at the end of 2023, a 2.08 million decrease from 2022. The most recent decline is double that of the previous year, which marked the first population drop in 60 years. But experts say this fall is expected to give the country's expanding urban class a record low birth rate. Beijing yesterday said the birth rate was now down to 6.39 per 1,000 people, on par with the advanced East Asian nations such as Japan and South Korea. The country has seen falling birth rates for decades after imposing a controversial one-child policy in the 1980s to control overpopulation at the time. The Prince of Wales is recovering in hospital after undergoing surgery, and King Charles III is set to undergo a medical procedure next week. Catherine will step back from royal duties for months after surgery for an unspecified but non-cancer-related abdominal condition. The King's prostate condition will be treated next week. The unexpected health announcements were made within 2 hours of each other on Wednesday afternoon. Details about the health of senior royals are usually closely guarded secret and only announced to the public in limited circumstances. To the decision to release 2 significant updates in one day was striking. Back to the headlines of the world news. Houthis hit US-owned ship in Yemen after terror designation. China records population decline for second straight year, and Kate in hospital after surgery as king to get prostate treatment. And that ends world news.
Development news.
Tea exports for the month of December 2023 totaled 20.75 million kilograms, showing an increase of 1.45 million kilograms. 1930 million kilograms of December 2022. Packeted tea together with the tea bags and green tea has seen an improvement against the corresponding month of 2022, whilst tea in bulk and instant tea have shown a decline. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
The third and final T20 match between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe will be played this evening. The match will be played at the R. Premdasa Stadium in Colombo. The match will be played as a day-night encounter and will commence at 7 p.m. The match will decide the series win as both teams have won one match each.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දඟපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Well, in business news, Apple now has the lion's share of the global smartphone market, knocking Samsung off the top spot for the first time in 12 years. The American phone giant accounted for more than a fifth of phones shipped this year, according to data from the International Data Corporation. Samsung took 19.4% of the market share. And the IDC report that almost 1.2 billion smartphones were sold last year, a drop of more than 3% on the previous year. It is the lowest amount sold in a decade, with many consumers tightening their purse strings in the face of economic challenges and high interest rates. Experts predict the market will recover recover this year. And that was business news.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news, the first ever single country exhibition on Sri Lanka and Brazil was held under the theme Explore Sri Lanka 2024 on 12th and 13th of January 2024 at the Cultural Centre in Brasilia to promote history, heritage, culture, trade, tourism, cuisine and products of Sri Lanka. The exhibition was organized by the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Brazil in collaboration with the Secretariat of the International Relations of the Federal District Government of Brazil. The opening ceremony was held on Friday, 12th of January 2024, with the participation of the senior officials of the Government of Brazil, diplomats, business leaders and tour operators and journalists.
Weather report.
Several special showers will occur in the north, central, eastern and Nuwa provinces and in the Mullaitivu district. A few showers may occur in the central, Sabaragamu, northwestern and southern provinces. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere in the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamu, central provinces and in the Galle and Matra district during the morning. Well, that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The President affirms trust in new investments for rebuilding Sri Lanka's economy. Sri Lanka is about to ink a free trade agreement with Thailand in February. Sri Lanka to introduce one-day service for permanent driver's licenses, revolve issues by October. In foreign news, China records population decline for second straight year. In sports, the third and final T20 match between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe will be played this evening. Well, with that we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.